Hey, I'm here cutting in at the beginning of this video. I filmed this day after I filmed the original video about microaggressions in fandom spaces. I was too kind, I was too nice, I was too demure. I have a different energy about me today. I have a different energy about me today because I keep thinking so deeply. First of all, this video is for Black women. It's for Black women. It's for women of color who don't have internalized racism. It's for supporters of Black women. It's for people who are unpacking their misogynoir or their internalized anti-Blackness. This is for the Black girl nerds, the Black girl Kpop Stans, etc. Okay? If you can't handle not being censored, and you're not one of those people, go and jump off. Just go ahead and jump up out of here. Yeah. See you another day. See you another day. Because I've been thinking so deeply about the reaction to Stray Kids Henjin sitting beside Victoria Monet and Ice Spice. And listen, y'all don't dislike Ice Spice more than me. But the racism. I was also thinking about my friend and how she's living in Korea right now. And she posted a video just like 7 reasons why I love living here and I'm having such a great time and everyone's so nice to me and I'm enjoying myself and da-da-da-da. And everybody's swinging into their car. You're Black! You're dark! They'll never... Like, it was like... She said she's having a good time. How y'all gonna talk over her own experience? And this is like my main thing about the microaggressions and also just straight up racism. It's constant. It's constant. It's palpable. It's frustrating. And I was like starting the conversation with like, oh, how are we dealing with this? Like checking in on y'all mental health. Like, wanted to share some videos that helped me or kind of talk about some of my experiences with 18E because but it's just blowing me. In that situation, I had to clearly just go ahead and tell her, bro, they're jealous of you. Like, I know people are just like, oh, y'all are just quick to say women are jealous, da-da-da-da, whatnot. In that case, and in that comment, that girl, this deep-seated need and obsession with trying to humble Black women and tell us that we're ugly, even though like, oh my God, the coping, the need to like lie to themselves and also us. And when you're not on the line as a Black woman, just like groveling and being self-loathing and self-deprecating jokes, and you're happy and you're confident and you're living your dreams and just trying to do your best in life and just trying to have fun. That is so triggering to a hating ass bitch. Listen. That shit is like your joy, you being fine, you being happy, you thriving, you looking good in that cosplay, you getting a crumb of attention at a concert, you just anything triggered. They're triggered. Like, girl, I have to say this. I'm telling you, I'm doing the research. I'm telling you right now, they are so fucking triggered. It's crazy. It's crazy. That's what I came here to say. I was like, I was too cutesy. I'm about to go ahead and play the other clip. I was too cutesy. I'm telling you right now. So crazy. It's just so unnecessary. Just let people live their life. It's obvious, you don't want to support Black women content creators. Go. What's not clicking? What's not clicking? You don't get to dictate that we don't get to exist in these spaces. Like, let it go. Like, it's actually getting ridiculous. Like, I just wanted to say that. I appreciate any Black woman, nerdy, alternative, cosplay, K-pop stan, etc. Whatever niche you are. Trust me, there's not enough Black women in that space. We need you to keep posting. We need you to keep going. I'm proud of you. I love to see it. I love to support. And it's just ridiculous. And honestly, I just wanted to tell you, some of these bitches just be hating. I'm sorry. Like, somebody has to say it. Like, it's just getting ridiculous and it's getting so obvious. I can't do it. Especially watching all this, like, anti-DEI and all this other stuff. This whole entire country is in a cut off its nose to spite its face era, right? And just seeing any crumb of advancement for Black people, any type of happiness, any type of joy, any type of Black person thriving in this space seems like an attack on them because they're so lame. They so lame, they so washed up, they so corny. Like, it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. It's not even like somebody's in competition with you or you need to be doing all these pick-me, weird-ass antics because there's space and room for everybody to thrive. So it's just strange. It's just strange. It's just weird. It's just incompetence. It's just projection. It's just ignorance. And it's just overall being a fucking hater. And I just want it to be clear. I just wanted to be clear. Okay? So yeah. To any Black girl out there, I hope you're having a good day. I hope you're glowing. I hope you're thriving. Eat well, stay hydrated. And thank you for watching. I'm just popping in real quick to ask a question. Can I ask a question? How do you deal with microaggressions in fandom spaces? Can you leave some tips? Can you leave some tips for me and also for other people who may come across this video? And I might do a follow-up video about it. I've addressed microaggressions in fandom before, but mostly on my Instagram. And I feel like those comment sections can be like a little bit more inflammatory and weird. So I want to start the conversation over here on my YouTube. And if you're asking, well, how did you bring it up before? It's been a lot of weird things that have happened to me. Like even someone's people calling me Jessie or like saying I look like Jessie. That was very derogatory and like strange to me because I'm like someone, using Blackness as a caricature and then you're saying I look like her. I'm traumatized by that. Like yikes. Like I couldn't even like process how strange that was. And also like I am in no way Asian fishing. I am obviously a Black American Geechee Southern woman through the bone through and through. How I would be getting confused within Asian women. I was like, what are you trying to say? I don't know. Like I didn't know. I couldn't quite figure out what they were trying to get at there. I didn't know if they were being mean to me or not. So I'm like, people are very like sarcastic and backhanded with their compliments. And what you trying to say? Well, a lot of times I see y'all making fun of her looks and like her BBL and everything like that. And then for you to say something about that, it's like, what are you trying to say about me or my body or whatever? Like, I don't have a BBL. I just don't understand. What were they trying to say? I don't know, but it was something mean. The same thing with that weird dude that was like, oh, Mingy likes Black girls and watermelon, and he'll be choosing between watermelon and a Black girl and all this other stuff. And then just like a lot of weird 18-y kind of like force feeding Mingy onto Black 18-y and feeling like we would only resonate with the rapper because we're darkies and all that stuff. Like, what in the world? I've always been vocal bias. Like, what are you talking about?
You know who really like you? Mingy. Because Mingy really likes Black girls, and a lot of idols don't really like Black girls because you guys are really at the bottom of the barrel. But Mingy really likes Black girls, and you really have a chance because Mingy.
He is stunning, and obviously I do love him. It's OT8 down to the bone, but it's like kind of weird, especially when you're standing there holding a San Pickett or holding a Young Pickett, and they're like, no, you're Black, you're gonna like me, you're like him, because that's what you Black. It's like, girl, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I just want to cut in on this Mingy part. Oh, you must like Mingy, right? First of all, who in their right mind would not find Mingy attractive? All right, so let's start there. And I was trying to explain this to my friend. I was like, he's nice to all of his fans. He is nice, he is sweet, he loves to be praised, and he loves to praise other people. He's so kind, and it's so funny because he's so shy in so many ways, and then he'll turn around and be like so outgoing stage presence wise or at fan meets or whatnot, right? Nothing wrong with being like, oh, is Mingy your bias? What was getting me and what I was trying to get at was, of course, them acting like he's the only person in ATs that would be nice to a black woman. It's just not true. It's just not true, and it's rude. And I was also trying to explain to her that the reason why, like, people used to always say, oh, he looks mixed, he looks mixed, he looks mixed, and oh, he's black or whatnot, you have to understand that was birth and colorism. And it also was because they were trying to say whenever he was a debut, like, whenever they were younger, that was saying that he looked black was their way, like an underhanded, undermined way that they were trying to say he looks ugly. And a lot of people were like embracing like, he black or he's mixed, just trying to be playful, trying to reclaim it, trying to be positive about it, right? At the end of the day, if someone's literally telling you like, no, I bias your son, and no, you're black, you like Mingy, you're black, it's like there is something aggressive and there is something weird about that. That's what I'm trying to say. There is nothing wrong with being a black woman who biases Mingy, because somebody's gonna come in here acting slow, like they don't know what I'm talking about. There's obviously nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you biasing rappers and fitting that quote unquote like stereotype, like, oh, you're black and you love Namjoon. Well, yeah, bitch, yes I do. And what? Right? There's nothing wrong with that. What I'm getting at is, and that's why we have to say microaggression, it's the reasons why someone is saying something to you, right? Because it's rooted in stereotypes. It's rooted in not wanting to get to know that individual person and speak over them and assume things about them. That's why the girlies started to think it was weird. That is why the girlies started to think it was weird. You would just be minding your business, and I'm going to put my friend's video in here, and she's just minding her business. You know what? Even though you're a darkie, there's one idol that would like you. It's like, bitch, like, that was the issue. That was the issue. There's nothing wrong with loving Mingy. Honestly, love OT8. ATs is perfection from top to bottom. I mean, this is a once in a lifetime lineup right here. This is crazy. That's not the issue. It was the weird way and the backhanded compliments and the strange and frankly awkward ways that black K-pop stans get treated, and the way that industry women that happen to be black or people of color get treated whenever they're in proximity to your K-pop idols, because y'all feel so like possessive and insane and triggered whenever you see them around any women, but especially like women of color or black women.
The people are already aware of how weird K-pop fans get when it comes to these idols, their faves, interacting with people who are not in the same group as them, especially when those people happen to be women. But can we please talk about how weird K-pop fans get when it comes to their faves interacting with non-Korean people, especially when those people happen to be black? So yesterday, Hyunjin was at the Versace show and he looked amazing per usual. Per usual, like, I ain't truly moved. I know beauty's subjective, but bro, he's one of those people that's just objectively attractive, like the shaven head. He looks good with long hair, but something about this buzz cut, it just enhances his beauty even more. He even has the perfect shaped head. First off, this isn't even supposed to be about him. Like, it's about him, but it's not about him, you feel me? I'm getting distracted. Let me refocus. And as expected, everyone's reposting videos and pictures of Hyunjin at the show. And at the show, he sat in between Victoria Monet and I Spy. So wonderful. Fine people sat back to back. Love that. I checked the comment section. I'm sorry. Just so many comments like this. This is a comment under a video of a non-black TikTok influencer who was at the event. Like, what is wrong with y'all? No, actually, I know the answer to that. Racism. People saying, ew, how are they beside Hyunjin before me? Probably because they're in the same tax bracket. We can start there. And I saw someone in one of these comment sections say, oh my gosh, the comments, ... K-pop fans are never beating the allegations. Allegations? An allegation is a claim that someone has done something, but there is little to no proof of that allegation being true or false. These are not allegations. This theory has been proven factual. Bro, so many K-pop fans are factually anti-black and factually hate women. So many to the point that it's honestly okay for someone to generalize. Y'all will comment things like this and wonder, why does no one like me? I see this happen literally all the time whenever a Korean idol and a black celebrity interact with each other or are simply in the same proximity of each other. Like, can y'all be normal, please? Don't even get me started on the overall infantilizing. This right here, y'all, Hyunjin is 24 years old. Poor Hyunjin, used for image, but this feels gross. She's protecting him. She hired bodyguards for him. The company wouldn't. She said Hyunjin was a literal vision of Versace before she even knew he existed. He fits the brand perfectly. Which means she's been stalking his photos. And you know how these ladies roll when they get what they want. I hope this doesn't turn out like Aaron Taylor Johnson in that thing. Because people are predators out there. Girl, he's Italian. For him, it's normal to greet with a kiss on the cheek. I get that, but Hyunjin comes from a very conservative country where they don't do that. He must have felt incredibly uncomfortable with so much physical touch on him and his face. It's not okay for some. Everyone there really liked touching Hyunjin. I just have a quick question. Are you people okay? Did Hyunjin text you all personally saying he's uncomfortable? Like, I understand it's possible to read body language, but at this point, y'all are just creating headcanons in their ass. Bro, there were so many comments saying, oh my gosh, she's just parading him around for his looks. That's all she cares about. Guys, that's just a model.
It gets weird. It gets spooky. Shit getting crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious. I just wanted to make sure I fully conveyed that. I mean, I did on Instagram already, but I just need to make sure I'm hammering home the point, okay? Thanks. I'm from the South and I'm also from America, so I'm so used to like more heavy-handed racism. Like, please, look at the White House, child. So I can kind of understand what to do in situations when people are being so obvious about it. And don't get me wrong, they do in fandoms, but sometimes in the microaggressions, you'd be like, I don't know if this is a hill that I want to die on. I don't know if this is something I want to address. You don't know how common a lot of these weird comments are until you start making other black friends in this space. And also until you make friends with white people who will actually stand up for you. Thank God my friends have my back and don't let people talk crazy to me like that, because they have tried, especially on Instagram, and I'm like, I'm literally just sitting here minding my business. What is going on in these comment sections? So what is going on in these comment sections? Like, what are you saying? So if you have any tips for how to deal with microaggressions in fandom spaces, I know that these things persist everywhere. I've dealt with it in like the anime and cosplay space.
So I want to talk about racism and prejudice in fandom, inspired by recent events in the Arcane fandom, but honestly about fandom more broadly. Recently, there was an Arcane fan, a white woman, who ordered a Funko Pop of one of the main characters. And due to some sort of mix-up, they accidentally sent her the wrong one. And instead of sending her the character she wanted, they sent her a Funko Pop of Mel, who is a black woman. And she responded to this by violently destroying the Funko Pop and posting the video on TikTok. And there has rightly been a bit of an uproar about this because it's a ridiculously inappropriate thing to do and very clearly racist, and racist specifically towards black women. I've spoken before about misogynoir in fandom and in the Arcane fandom, and a lot of black woman creators have been breaking down this specific incident with a lot more nuance than I possibly could. But I want to talk about fandom spaces a bit more broadly and current reactions to critiques of fandom. I have really noticed on this platform in particular this idea that we should not or we cannot criticize fandom because it's just a hobby, it's just something that people are doing for fun, So therefore, even if we notice harmful or problematic trends, we should not comment on them. There's this real twisting of the phrase, don't like, don't read, which is supposed to refer to individual works of fan fiction. Basically, if there's something you're not interested in reading, don't read a fanfic about it. If you open a fanfic and realize that it's not your cup of tea, just click back. And definitely don't go into the comments of that fanfic and explain why you didn't like it. And I absolutely support this approach. Don't go into the comments of individual fanfics or works of fan art and start criticizing them. However, that does not mean that we cannot look at fandom more broadly, that we cannot look at trends in fandom and comment on and criticize them. Fandom does have a racism problem. It does have a misogynoir problem. It has a lot of other problems too. And don't like, don't read is not a defense for this or an excuse for this. No, you don't have to like Mel. You don't have to go and read fan fiction about her if you don't want to. But that does not mean that we should not all be noticing and acknowledging and thinking about the treatment that she gets within the fandom. And this is not limited to Arcane. And by ignoring this kind of trend, we create an environment where this sort of thing happens. We create an environment where people feel like it's okay to go on TikTok and violently destroy an image of a Black woman. And that is not something we want people to feel safe doing in our fandom spaces. Or at least we shouldn't.
So I just wanted to add on something to this video, which watch it in total and then come back here. But I think how this happens is by ignoring Black creators when they are saying these things. One of the things that frustrates me about conversations about fandom etiquette and how it impacts Black people specifically is that it ignores that there are Black people in these spaces who have been talking about these issues, highlighting it, documenting it, getting flack for discussing it for decades. And I would know because I've been one of them. And at every turn, one of the biggest gatekeeping things that happens is that that kind of stuff only gets taken seriously when a white voice is saying it. Which is not a critique of this person in particular. I'm not calling them an example of this. But what I am saying is not an example of this. Because how many people that I know on this space have talked about this issue are Black and they do not get views. They do not get the same amount of interaction because they are seen as inherently like, well, of course you like Mel, you're Black. And then a white person will come and say it and people will be like, oh yeah, I have noticed that. Like, you can make an objective observation because you are not in that group and therefore your opinion matters more. And what's more is that this is not new and it has been documented. And as people who have worked in fandom studies and fandom etiquette, one of the frustrating things about how fandom has moved to TikTok is that there is almost this erasure of all of that information and all of that discourse in community with so many other Black creators, so many Black writers on Tumblr, on so many other platforms, that it is actively like almost ignored as if we're having this conversation. Instead of having a concrete ground that we can keep building upon, every time a new platform takes off, it has to be done from the ground up. Because for some reason, we can only really accept the Black people that exist on that platform and popular there and ignore everyone else. And these are longstanding problems of why it's so hard to create active change in fandom, is because we never allow Black fans, especially Black female and femme ones, to reach the kind of heights there. Unless they are seen as inherently, antagonistic, if they are constantly being harassed, then they can get uplifted. If they do the same kind of, content all the time, then they can get uplifted. But people who do this kind of serious work are never given the same kind of attention, never given the same amount of response as others. And it's frustrating. And I don't just mean that for myself, I mean it in terms of the health of the fandom community. Because to be quite frank, it's never going to change unless people actively hype up the characters when they're good. Like, where are the Annette edits for Castlevania Nocturne? You know, every time there is a series that has black, brown characters, queer characters, and there is room for nuanced thinking, the first thing people want to do is drag it down and not actually have those nuanced conversations, but just start fighting each other about who's that. Like, I will never forgive the narrative that Garnet is a mammy that some people started taking, because then non-black people will take that narrative and run with it and use it as a way of degrading the series, and then it leaves no room to talk about the actual racial issues that you can find in Steven Universe in terms of behind the scenes stuff. Like, those things become such a toxic part of the reality. I have seen very often an incident of racial ignorance from a creator be used to dunk on black fans of a series. I'm thinking in particular about She-Ra, right? And so when you grow up seeing things like this and you have those conversations, and then you go to a different platform and you see people pretend as though these things did not happen, as if like everyone is doing this in totally good faith, it's frustrating. Because if it was done in good faith, then black people would be at the faces of these things. And I'm not saying that we don't need allies from other communities. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that there's a desire to use marginalized communities, use our bodies, use our characters as a way of showing that there is solidarity in these spaces, except when we disagree or ask for more nuance or ask for it to be a more complicated conversation. Then we are being ignored and we are, we're part of the problem all of a sudden. And I think that it's gotten worse with the move to TikTok in particular, because there is no fandom etiquette at all. And that bleeds into other issues.
But I feel like in the anime and cosplay space, there's just more community who have been curating, as opposed to over here. Black K-pop stans are kind of judged and demonized for engaging in this, because they're like, well, they're all racist, so why would you listen to them? And it's like, it's not that simple. Maybe a lot of them are, but not all. And if I felt like there was nothing here that I could enjoy, I wouldn't. Like, if there was nothing here, like when someone makes me uncomfortable or they do something wrong, I step back from supporting them. Once I do my research and I know something that someone's done, then I have to take a step back from them. Okay. Not that I don't have to deal with that with celebrities over here as well. Like, there's bad people, there's problematic people, there's racist people, there's colorist people that are all around the world. All around the world. Everybody needs to be unpacking their racism, their misogynoir, etc., 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 all around the world. A lot of the negative narratives and things that I've seen actually hasn't been from the idols, it's been from fandoms. Like, the reaction, and listen, I dislike Ice Spice more than all of y'all combined. The way that they were so weird, because Hyunjin sat beside Victoria Monet and Ice Spice. Now, mind you, Victoria Monet stan. Listen, y'all see her record up in my room. Not this room, my bedroom. Listen, love me some Victoria Monet. Love me Victoria Monet. Listen, love her down boots. Ice Spice, absolutely not, but the weird comments, the misogynoir, well, I don't know, is she black? Well, the misogyny, okay, whatever. Like, that was really weird. That was a lot. So, yeah, please tell me on how you navigate the constant microaggressions in these fandom spaces. Thank you.